Welcome to PhotoMonkey Labs, which is conveniently disguised as a common ordinary laundry room. So today we're going to develop a couple rolls of Arista 200 Ultra. It's some film that I picked up from B&H. Don't know anything about it, don't know what it's going to look like. Saw it while I was browsing and thought I'd give it a try. So we're going to use the Ilford Simplicity Kit. This is a Christmas gift that I've kind of been sitting on. It's basically a one-shot kit, and it comes with individual pouches color-coded for your developer, stop bath, fixer, and wetting agent. So you basically take each pouch, put that in a container with the correct amount of water, and you're good to go. Now, even though it's a one-shot kit, you can use it for multiple rolls. The entire kit is good for up to 8 35 millimeter rolls, so I guess that would be 4 120. The caveat to that is it needs to be in the same session. They don't want you to put it back in the container, store it, and say come back next weekend. So as long as you keep that in mind, then you should be good. Now, I assume also that means that because you can actually load up a double roll of 120, that you could do that as well and knock 2 rolls out at one shot, just like you would with 35 millimeter. So taking a look at our setup here on our cleverly disguised table that looks a lot like a Whirlpool dryer, we have a water bath here. I'm using, this is a Nova, I believe it's the Nano 2 sous vide cooker. I'll put a link to it down below. One thing I would recommend you do, which I failed to do, is make sure when you purchase your sous vide cooker that you confirm the operating temperature range. So the one I bought back in December only goes to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 25 degrees Celsius. Today we're operating at 20 Celsius or 68 Fahrenheit. So it was just out of spec. Unfortunately, I waited too long and can't return it. So I had to buy another one. So don't do what I did. Make sure you get one that operates in the specs that you need for your developer. So we do have these color-coded bottles. This is what I'll be mixing everything up in. I do have it labeled as well. So we've got our dev, our stop. So these, of course, will be sitting in our bath, and we'll be making sure that everything comes up to speed. I've got a digital thermometer that I'll use to not only verify the water temp. According to the Nova, it's sitting at 20.8, so that's sitting within our acceptable range of plus or minus 2 degrees. I'll also use that to check the chemicals as well to make sure they're at the proper temperature before we start. The temperature is mostly critical with your developer. With the stop bath and fixer, it's not such a big deal. I've got a couple of clips to weigh the negatives down. I do have a digital, this is a multi-timer, so I can put 3 different times, so developer, stop bath, and fixer. But today I'm going to be using the app from Massive Dev. So if you're not familiar with Massive Dev, it's a great website. There's tons of information on just about every film, every chemical, every developer that you would want. There are volume calculators, so if you look at the instructions and it says, for example, this is a 1:9 ratio and you don't know what that means, it'll tell you exactly how much chemical you need to how much water. So great tool. It's $9.99 as of this recording, so go check it out, see if it meets your needs. The good thing about it is you pick your film, pick your developer. It'll give you a suggested recipe for all the timings. It has timers built in, so you can use that. It also has audible cues that tell you, when to do the agitations, that sort of thing. And of course, you can tailor it so that you have your own custom, which is exactly what I did. I took the recipe it suggested, and then I adjusted the times based on Ilford's technical spec. So back over my head, I've got the clips where we'll be hanging the negatives when they're done. Let me just show you what else we have. I'll flip the camera around here. Okay, so you can see we've got 3 things of clean water sitting there right about 600 milliliters. This is going to be used for our bath. There's my digital thermometer. The canister with the blue tape is distilled water, and we'll be using that for the wetting agent. Using distilled so that hopefully we'll prevent any spotting or anything like that on the negatives. We've got some stir sticks. I've got one for each chemical just so we don't cross-contaminate anything. I've already loaded up my Patterson tank with the 2 rolls of film, and then our lovely utility sink. One thing about the chemicals in the sink, with the exception of the fixer, everything else, the developer, top bath, all that can be safely disposed of down the sink. The fixer is considered a hazardous material, so I'll pour that back in the container and we'll store that away until I can get that to the hazmat center. I'm going to stop for a minute. We'll mix everything up, make sure everything's at temp, and then we'll get going. All right, so we've got everything set up. I've mixed the chemicals. We're ready to go. I've got my timer ready. We should be set. So let's get this party started. First up is our developer. And what we're going to do is we're going to pour this in. We'll agitate for the first 10 seconds, and then we'll do 10 seconds every minute thereafter. Just a quick check. All right, my timer is set for 6 minutes. So got the lid ready, and we'll start the timer as soon as it goes in. We'll tap it to dislodge any bubbles that may have adhered to the film, and now we wait. All right, 1 minute done. 4 more inversions. One thing to note also is with the developer, as you get down to like the last 10 seconds, that's when you want to start taking the lid off and get ready to dump the developer out and put your stop bath in. Something you'll notice when you're using the Massive Dev app is that you can set the inversion time. So I have it set to do 10 seconds every minute. And so you'll hear the audible cues as that's going on. On that one, my inversions were almost perfectly in tune with the timer, so we're doing good. I'm feeling pretty good about that. One thing, we are coming up on just a minute and a half left, so I'm going to go ahead and prep my stop and my fixer, because the stop, of course, is the most important one. I want to make sure that our development stops right when we need to. We don't want it to go any longer and change the negative. So we've got this set up and we're almost done. You'll also hear the Massive Dev app give you an audible indicator that you're coming up on the time to do the agitation. I'm just doing gentle agitations. All right, we're in our last 45 seconds, almost 30. So we're almost there, ready to do our stop bath. I'll get this off, ready to go. All right. And here we go. Alright, so we have our stop bath in here, 4 inversions. Alright. We'll do our fixer now. We're going to do 5 minutes with the fixer. Make sure that's good and tight. Alright, and next up is going to be our wash. We're going to use those 3 containers of 600 milliliters of water, and we'll give it a good rinse down. Because the fixer is considered hazmat, when it's time to drain that, we'll do that in the utility sink and make sure we get as much in the bottle as we can, and that way we don't get anything on the floor or anywhere else. Alright, we're coming up on our next agitation. When it's time to do the wash, we've got 3 containers of fresh water. We're going to do the first container, we'll do 5 inversions, dump that, put the second one in, do 10 inversions, dump that, and on the final we'll do 20 inversions. And then from there it's on to the wetting agent, and we're good to go. Alright, that was our last inversion. So once this is done, we should be good for the flush. Alright, let's wash. So the wetting agent is about the only thing we can actually reuse because we only need 2 capfuls. So we've got 600 milliliters of water. Remember, this is distilled water that we're using. And then we'll put just 2 capfuls of the wetting agent in. There we go. Now that we've got that done, we'll do 5 inversions. So that's it. Our film should be developed. Let's dump this out. Nice and soapy. Alright. Open the tank. And hopefully we'll see some developed film. Because these are easy to take apart, I'm just going to do that. Trying to be very careful here because I don't want to do anything that can potentially scratch them. Alright. And look at that. Looks like we have negatives. Alright, so we'll put this in the clip. There we go. And let's look at the other one. And this is, I can already tell this is looking good. You can see that. There you go. You can see that. there we go. We'll put the weight on these, let them sit for a couple hours, dry off, and that's it. Looks like we've had a successful day and we've got 2 rolls of film developed. It looks like the kit worked fine. It did a great job. Of course, we'll have to put it on a light table and see how they really turned out. But from a developing perspective, everything looks good. We've got great looking negatives, and we'll let these hang for a couple of hours and dry, and then it'll be off to the scanner. So hope you enjoyed this. If this is your first time to the channel, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell. It really does mean a lot. Obviously, I don't have a lot of videos yet. I'm still trying to build the channel. If this kind of subject matter interests you, let me know. If you have anything to add, anything you saw that I just totally messed up or whatever, or something you'd like to see, please feel free to drop it in the comments. I'd love to start a community with you guys. And until then, PhotoMonkey out.